I'm definitely ready for my Shark Tank audition.
Welcome to the Career Corrective, your career lifeline that gives you laugh lines with Jenny and Allie.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are continuing our series on habits.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about Atomic Habits, the book we mentioned in our last episode. And of course, every episode is one we create for you, our anxious achievers. But I think today is going to be a little more helpful than normal. Whether you've read the book or not, do not worry. We've crafted our topics today to bring some good insights to you that you can carry with you throughout your week. Either way. But, before we get into that, Jenny, I have something different that I thought would be fun.
You do?
Yeah. I don't think our listeners know that in addition to Greek yogurt and all things food, we love to chat about home decor, home design.
Yes.
I pulled some info from all different places, a little bit of Better Homes and Gardens, Pinterest, HGTV, and thought I could go through what the trends are right now, throw them at you, and then we could just chat through.
Okay. Love it.
Right now, they're saying a blend of timeless elegance and personalized expression is what it's all about. So in the latest in interior design, number 1 is embracing timeless style. Homeowners are gravitating towards the traditional details and materials that exude a sense of enduring elegance. It's called quiet luxury, emphasizing quality craftsmanship and classic design elements, creating spaces that feel sophisticated and inviting.
Yeah. I mean, timeless is always the way to go. That's how I feel. And I like it when you do timeless pieces and then add in your own little flair. Like you introduce that. It gives it more of an eclectic vibe.
I think I've seen from your decor that you'll throw in the flair that are maybe more relevant to a specific time with things that you can change out. Pillows, things for the top of the table. You'll bring it in that way, and then you can always switch those out.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I would say my style right now, it's mid-century modern meets beach, but without being overly beachy.
You don't have a sign that says, my happy place is the beach?
No, I don't have any signage.
You don't have to. I know. Your happy place is the beach.
Yes.
I had a friend tell me that my style is classic and cozy.
Yes, it is. Oh, I love it. You're very neutral, which I appreciate.
Oh, yes. I'll bring in a splash of color, maybe through artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like all shades of cream and black.
Yeah, I love it. And then you bring in some warm woods as well, which is very nice. You do that very well.
There's a hotel in Lake Placid, New York.
Yes.
I think it's called the Lake Placid Lodge. We don't stay there because it's not right in the town, but we venture out there to go to the grounds, walk around, go for lunch. The first time I walked in there, I thought, I wish this was what I could do with my house. They mixed together very neutral stone and wood and elegant materials. A rustic take on it, but it felt very rich with the materials. But then they mixed together there was a plaid couch with an animal print backing to it, something I never would have chosen, and it looked so amazing, beautiful, and varied, different, almost like I dressed when I was a child.
Yeah, different patterns you threw together, but it all worked.
I don't know if it worked in my case when I was a kid because my sister used to cry at some of the outfits I would choose to wear. I would work a Garanimals print top with plaid leggings and walk out of the house like I owned the world.
Well, that's half of it is the confidence
Confidence, yep.
to
And
pull it off.
yeah. I'm not sure if I was pulling it off, but I felt really good. Felt good about it. But Lake Placid Lodge really did pull it off. It was beautiful.
I love Lake Placid.
Such a nice getaway.
It really is.
And we always talk about how much we love Florida and the warm weather, but with Lake Placid, the reason it's awesome is, well, so many reasons, but they are prepared for the weather. You cannot sneeze without finding a fireplace. They're everywhere. They're inside.
Right.
They're outside.
I know.
They just make it so cozy. Everywhere is cozy. Even I was there one time when it was below 0.
Uh-huh.
Freezing cold. You can walk on the lake, all of that. And we still had a great time, and we went out at night because they have everything set up to make sure you don't have to go too long without warming up. So it's still great.
It is so much fun.
Next on our list, personalized spaces with vintage flair. There's a growing appreciation for curated personal spaces adorned with vintage and thrifted pieces.
Yeah.
Incorporating well-worn leather chairs, vintage mops, or eclectic frames infuses home with character and tells a unique story. This is the voice I need to give you this trend in home decor. What do we think of this? I love a vintage map, and I love maps.
I was just going to say, you have a vintage map.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't realize that was vintage. And I love a well-worn leather chair.
It's like your grandpappy's chair. He used to smoke cigars, and he used to sit there and tell stories and smoke cigars.
Our grandfather really did smoke cigars.
He did.
Yeah. I think we've said before on here that we're cousins, but if we haven't, we're cousins, and we had a grandfather who smoked cigars, and he was adorable. And he had a hairline till the day he died.
He sure did. We used to call him Poppy. Great memories. He always wanted to buy his kids dogs. Remember? We were all get you a dog.
The next one is warm and inviting color palettes. The shift from cool tones to warmer hues continues, with colors like chocolate brown gaining popularity. These shades add depth and coziness, making spaces feel more intimate and welcoming.
I think your home in New York had, do you remember that chocolate brown you picked? Oh my gosh. It was perfect though. It was a black brown.
I went to a restaurant in our town after we painted, and the color of the furniture, they painted their chairs and their tables, a little cafe.
Yeah.
The exact same color. The owner of the cafe, they had just opened, and she came over to take our order, and I said, "This is so funny. I just was looking at paint swatches for the past month, and I chose a color just like this for an accent wall in our house." And she said, "Oh, is it whatever the color was?" I don't remember at the time. And I went, "Oh, that's exactly." So we use the exact same paint color.
Oh my gosh. Both have good tastes.
But the room was a huge wall with a huge fireplace, and the wall, this was an old farmhouse, and they knocked out so many walls before we got there. They left everything original in it though, and the fireplace was the biggest fireplace I've ever seen. We painted the wall behind it this deep brown, as Jenny said, kind of like black and brown mixed together, and then the fireplace was cream, so it really popped, and it was a cozy.
It really was.
That fireplace was the best part of that house.
That fireplace was amazing.
Then we got the fireplace insert with the blower, and it would pump out some major heat.
Yeah.
Next on our list is curved furniture and organic shapes. Moving away from sharp edges, interior designs are featuring curved furniture and organic shapes, rounded chairs, circular coffee tables, and arched doorways, contributing to a soft, relaxed atmosphere. What do you think of that, Jenny?
I like it. I think it's nice to have a mix, though.
Oh, tell us more about that.
Just mix. You can still do the sharp edges on some pieces, and then it's nice to have some curved as well.
Oh, okay. A coffee table that's round with some end tables that are rectangle and more modern.
Right. Or a chair. You could do the curvy chair. Mix it up.
A curvy chair in the corner like you have.
Yeah. I think matchy is kind of overdone. I think it's played out a little bit. The days of everything matching.
Never really my vibe, but you do you. Whoever you
That's
want.
true. That's true. I'm not judging.
But I think it is time for our segment. Speaking of judges.
In today's segment of You Be the Judge, we're going to chat through the themes of Atomic Habits, the book. You be the judge whether these concepts could be useful to you. Chapter 1, The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. James Clear introduces the concept of atomic habits, which are tiny changes when compounded over time can lead to remarkable improvements in your life. He emphasizes the importance of focusing on the system of habits rather than big dramatic changes. I like that. He stresses that progress isn't always immediately visible, but persistence will yield noticeable results over time.
This is like the Hallmark movies.
Dude, the holiday ones or just like regular?
Or any romantic comedy. When I used to watch these, I would think, why do they have to do the middle part?
Right.
Where we don't know what's going to happen. We came home from our big city job and the guy who we used to have a crush on in high school now just happened to move home.
Yeah.
And we're going to get together by the end of the movie, but there's this whole middle part. And then I realized, the middle part are the incremental changes leading up to, there's not going to be a big dramatic change. So if you had the beginning of the movie where she's stressed, the main character is always very stressed.
Yes.
And she's always just, I have too many deadlines, Mom. I can't take time out for the holidays. But then she makes it home. And when she comes home, there's always someone there that she's afraid to see.
There's so much history there.
There's so much history.
She used to be attracted to, the typical Wall Street suits kind of guy, but now she saw Billy, and I don't know, there's just something about the way he wears a flannel shirt now.
Right.
That's her scene.
The 5 minutes at the beginning and then the 5 minutes at the end, I would think that's the movie, but it builds up. She has to slowly see and realize things one at a time, but within 2 hours in this case, because it's a movie.
Right.
It's a fun way to think of when you're working on something and you're building these habits, that system that you create and the little changes, you don't feel it. When you're doing real work like this, you're becoming an evolved version of yourself by creating systems and new habits. There isn't this big feeling that you think is coming. And a lot of the process, and I'm really selling it here, you think, is this even worth it? Am I even going to get anywhere with this? And you will, but it's because of building slowly and emerging. And then if you fall off of your path, you can get right back on because there's small incremental changes that you're working on, not big swooping thing that you're doing. I love the whole concept.
I do too. Yeah, it makes it a little less scary as well. There are some surprising powers that come along with small changes. It's about finding ways to care for yourself that align with your life and values. For example, instead of setting a goal like, I gotta get fit, you can aim to take 5-minute walks after dinner each evening, which is also good for your digestion, by the way. Yeah. Over time, this small habit might grow into a 30-minute evening routine.
I've used this for myself and in coaching. Most recently, my sister decided after 20 years that she wanted to take the bar exam, and I had the honor of coaching her to prepare. She was an A student all through school, high honors. After law school, she decided, I am not a lawyer. Struggled with that because it's this identity crisis of I just went to law school. She did great in law school, but then her personal life evolved from there, and she worked in the legal field. Then it became, I think, more so I'm too busy and I'm kind of avoiding it. I don't know. It was this gray area of I'll get back to it. And about a year ago, she told me that she really wanted to do it. And I asked her, could we work together on it? And she agreed. And we worked from that perspective. Here we have 6 months. We made our plan, but it was really about prioritizing her needs. And that's what it came down to. She has a family now and other responsibilities. And we worked on creating a plan where she stuck to following through for herself was really the focus of the studying, and the self-care plan that we developed to go alongside of that really were coming down to this time in your life is prioritizing your needs and these incremental changes and habits that you're creating. Now, she and I are still working together, and we're continuing that progress through just life changes, which is amazing and inspiring. And she passed the bar.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Oh, by the way, she passed the bar. I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, all the things you learned about yourself. And everyone's like, yeah. She passed the bar. That's the main point. But it is all wonderful. And it's totally from the atomic habit approach, the way we did things. And
Yeah.
she nailed it.
She did nail it. So proud.
Yes.
The next one is to focus on the system, not the goal. Building habits starts with designing an environment and routine that makes self-care inevitable. For example, creating a me time corner at home, small, inviting space with a cozy chair, a candle, your favorite book or journal, whatever you picture your me time corner. It's there to be a signal to yourself that you deserve quiet moments.
Continuing with the example of working with my sister, this was just as much a part of her studying as the actual books and the plan to hit her timelines each week. We broke down a system. She had all these meditations on audio that she did, and we created a whole toolkit for her. The other piece is to remember, it worked really well for her, is to do something that appeals to you that day. So if you're making this me time corner, that's wonderful, because that does signal to yourself, that's where I go and take this time that is so necessary. But have it be a million different things in there. It could be a book, a journal, a cup of tea, a yoga mat, a nap pillow. You might be exhausted. Go take a rest.
Listen to some of your favorite music.
Maybe some Enya.
Maybe Yanni. I don't know. Next up is compounding habits for exponential growth. Small acts of self-prioritization will build momentum. For example, if you struggle to fit exercise into your day, start with 1 to 2 stretches each morning. This might grow into a 5-minute yoga routine and eventually into a regular fitness schedule.
I think this goes along with self-compassion, and that may seem like a stretch, but I'm always looking for my next workout, trying to stay consistent. Consistency is queen.
Yeah.
And when I look back on my life where I've done poorly with this, and something I'm very mindful not to do anymore, is I would make grandiose, sweeping plans.
Right.
It would be perfect. I'm up at 5. I mean, I still get up at 5. But it would be, I'm going to do an hour of this. It's going to be 4 times a week. It was so rigid, and there was no room for being human in there. And some people can do that. That's not me. So I would be perfect for 3 months. and then I would be exhausted, and then I would be down on myself for not doing it for a day, which would spiral into a week or so, and I would go off of my routine.
Right.
Now, what I do first is I'll say, what do I feel like doing this morning? The only thing I committed to is moving my body. So if that means a walk when I'm up at 5, I have my gear, my safety gear.
Right.
And it's going to be lifting weights or yoga or riding my bike or a simple walk. It doesn't matter. Self-compassion.
Hey listeners, we hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. If so, go back and listen to the full episode. It's called Routine Tweaks, Major Gains, and a Hint of Decor Drama. It's linked for you in the description below as well. See you there.